Welcome to What Dogs Really Want, a podcast where we ditch some old school myths and explore what our dogs need to thrive in the modern world. We are your hosts, Maren,
Hi.
Alana,
Hello.
and me. I'm Stefanie. And each week we're going to talk about canine behavior, looking through the lens of ethology, enrichment, and empathy. Whether you're a dog pro or just in love with your dog, I think you're in the right place. So, we do want to clarify that our podcast was created to express our feelings and discuss how we can better support the dogs we love. We do not wish to offend anyone. Excuse me. Our goal is to view life from a dog's perspective and explore how we can all adjust our behavior to help our dogs live their best possible lives. So, Maren, what are we going to talk about today?
This episode, we are going to be kind of debunking little dog syndrome, talking about little dogs, why they act like that, what we can do to advocate for our little dogs, maybe why the term little dog syndrome isn't so fair or isn't appropriate, and just looking at little dogs in a big world. That's what we're talking about.
You want to start us off since you are the little dog person in the group?
I am the little dog
Little
person.
dog person.
I guess. Yeah.
Have the personal examples.
Yeah, I think this is an important topic to cover because I think we've all heard the term little dog syndrome or little man syndrome. And I just think it's not necessarily fair because the way that little dogs are treated in this world doesn't correlate with the fact that they are sentient beings who have their own feelings and emotions. And yes, their emotions and feelings might be heightened sometimes, but I think there's a very valid reason why, and we'll kind of dive into that further. And it's just, I don't know, a bit of a maybe a double standard when looking at little dogs in comparison to other dogs because like you said, I'm a little dog person. I have a Chihuahua, and I think a lot of the situations that I've found myself in with him wouldn't happen if I was with a big dog, just because of the way people respect or don't respect different dogs based on their sizes and what they assume that dog is going to be like. And yeah, I think it's just important to kind of talk about that and yeah, just gain some respect for the little guys.
Yeah, definitely.
The
Um,
little dog. Oh, I'm so sorry.
nope, go.
I was just thinking the comparison between like the little dog syndrome and like comparing it to like the human aspect of it, where it's like little man syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's so different too because the little dog syndrome, they're reacting based on what they're receiving, like from other people or the world. And I feel like in the human's case, it's them projecting their own feelings and ideas out onto the world. So I feel like that's the difference that people don't understand. Like the dog isn't thinking
Yeah,
like, I'm a little guy, I have to act tough. It's like everyone's treating me like different and they're coming at me, so I have to be scary sometimes. Or you know what I mean? Like I have to
Mm-hmm.
act different to stay safe.
Well, that's the thing. Like, dogs can't talk. So, like, all these things like growling, barking, anything that we deem as maybe like inappropriate behavior, that's really the only way that they have to communicate with us. And if we aren't listening to them and if we aren't advocating for them and making them feel safe, and I think a lot of us inadvertently maybe fail to do that with little dogs because of how they look and because they're so little and they're so cute and everyone should be able to pet them and I want to show them off because they're so precious. But maybe that's not making your little dog feel safe. So if you're not addressing those needs of just feeling safe, what do you expect? You know, that's the only way your little dog has to communicate with you and let you know that, hey, I'm this isn't all right.
right. Well, what's that saying? The best defense is a strong offense. If
Yeah.
you look really scary, I just had a client with a little dog, and I was trying to explain the reason they bark and growl at people when you're on walks is because everybody tries to touch him. And so if you're not advocating for him, he's got to advocate for himself. I said, and so what happens when he growls and barks and lunges? And she's like, the person moves away. And I go, therefore, reinforcing that if
That's
I
what
do
they need
that,
to do.
it works for me. So I said, you need to see it coming and advocate for him. And she thinks he's bad and aggressive. I'm like, he's not at all aggressive. It's fear,
Hmm.
and it's working for him.
Hmm.
So, um, just to kind of hit on your point, like you've got to stick up for your little guy, or they have to do what they have to do to stick up for themselves.
Exactly. And then you
Yeah.
can't put that blame on them.
Right.
Or then I
Right.
feel like little dogs get a bad rap because
Yeah.
they're yappy, they growl. Like everyone's always like, oh, little dogs are so much more aggressive than big dogs. And we're like, yeah, because you wouldn't act inappropriately with a big dog.
And
So
then what do they do?
they don't have to do that. Little dogs, you're gonna touch, you're gonna grab, you're gonna loom over, you're gonna try to pet their face. Like they have like if someone was constantly coming like it's like when you're at a party and there's some weird guy who's all up on you and he's so drunk and he's just not getting your cues of like turning away, trying to talk to your friends. He's just grabbing you, he's hugging you, he's looming over you, he's pinning you in the corner. Eventually you're going to be like, back up. And that's basically what little dogs have to do every day of their life.
Which is
For
a
the
really good.
women,
Well, I know,
right?
I know, and that's a good point though that you were saying, like with women or men, you're giving all these cues that are appropriate, like the turning away, no thanks, no thanks, and little dogs do that too. If you know enough about body language, you can see it a mile
Mm-hmm.
away. But it's always when the dog snaps and lunges and growls, that's when people get mad. It's like, but you could have stopped that. You could have helped him out there. And then still, how many people, when you see a dog, a little dog that's growling, barking, snapping, to like, oh, that's so silly. And then they try to make it better, or they still move in. Where we've said it before, I have a border collie mix. No one ever tries to touch her or pick her up or coochie coo her,
Yeah,
but
she
they
doesn't
will
even
with
have to do all those
your dog.
outward displays of this and
Yeah.
that. Like people just know based on her size and I mean, she's a
Yeah.
bit
It's,
intimidating looking, but
well,
she doesn't
yeah,
even
but
have to
even if
do all that, and
not,
people know to respect her.
right. People, it's just really interesting how many people take the liberty with little dogs that they wouldn't do with big dogs. It's just, why is that? Just because of their diminutive size? Like, that's just not, it's not fair.
Yeah, it's because I won't say they can't do damage because if a little dog is angry enough, your nose is
They can
coming
do
off.
damage.
But I just feel like a little dog, it's like it's less of a threat. And they are so just inherently cute because of their size. And so I feel like Elena has talked about this before, but it's like also a lot of times people will just purposely provoke them because they think
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
reaction is funny because
Yeah.
the little dog isn't actually causing any harm. But oh, it's so funny to make him mad though. But that's
Yeah.
not fair. Like it's like
Yeah.
oh, it's not fair. Like it's not fair to purposely stress a being out for your entertainment and your enjoyment because yeah, then afterwards you can be like, "Oh, I was just kidding. I was just kidding." The dog doesn't understand that. Now you've like made his blood pressure go up for no reason. Like, come on now.
It's sad, especially
Very
on
passionate
TikTok, I
about
feel
this.
like. Yeah, well, it's so common on social media of
Hmm.
people posting videos of their chihuahua or their little dog, and they're like poking at it, poking at it, poking at it, and they're like, "Oh, ha ha ha," and he's getting mad, or they're, just doing something to irritate them, and it's like, they're making like they do make like their little weird noises when they're angry, and like that's them communicating, like they can't
It's
help
the
that it
only voice
sounds
they
funny
have.
or it's cute. Yeah, like they
Yeah.
literally cannot help it, which it's just sad because they're doing all they can to communicate, but these people are just like, oh, you sound funny, you look funny. It's
I
really
know.
sad.
And it's
I
like
know.
someone you would never do that to like a Rottweiler. Or if you
Let's take
were
a
like playing with a
cookie.
Rottweiler and a Rottweiler started to like growl and show his teeth, you wouldn't be like, "Oh, you're so funny. Let's keep going. This is so silly." You'd be like, oh, my bad. I get the hint. I'm so sorry. So why do we not have that same respect for little dogs just because they're not as threatening to us? It's like we need to have the fear of something in order to treat them well.
I feel like it's like that mantra of like that all humans need to like think about sometimes, where it's like just because we can doesn't mean we should. Like, I
Yeah,
feel like it's just so common. It's like, yes, you can, but stop and think.
yeah.
Consider considering. Should
Consider
I?
Yeah,
considering
consider
like our
considering.
ongoing thing.
Oy vey.
Truly, truly. So I don't know. I always go into another thing with people. It's like consider what your little guys were bred for. When people get upset at the way they act, so not only do people seeing little dogs have to be respectful, the people who live with little dogs also need to advocate and respect their feelings too, which you see a lot where they're always scooped up, dressed up, handed over to people. But what were they bred for? Many of them to protect their person. So
Mhm.
that's also part of what they're doing too. When you're out walking, while they may not want people to approach you, is there might be a protection quality too, which is lovely because that's what we created them for. So
And same
instead
with
of
them
thinking that
against
they're
other dogs as well.
true. Yeah. So they're not bad. Why are they doing that? And let's help them. That's always our approach. You know, we as in all of us. Why we like the family dog mediation group is because it's looking at the whys and then help create a better environment, um, better learning for the humans, help the dog, not label, um, not tease, not be unkind.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Every
So
dog
that
deserves to feel safe in the environment that they are in. And I think a lot of people neglect that, especially for little dogs, because they
yeah.
are little and they're almost like a little toy or a little stuffed animal that you have. And maybe you don't think of them as having actual valid feelings, but they do. And it's okay if those feelings are big. It's okay to have big feelings.
Awesome.
Because
Truly.
sometimes you gotta, if someone's not listening to you, you're gonna raise your voice, you're gonna shout, and people don't listen to little dogs.
They don't. They don't at
They don't.
all.
Another thing that I find weirdly lacking is when your little dog acts like they act, consider their perspective. They're just smaller and they're down here, and all of us are so much bigger than them. And fire hydrants are everything from their perspective is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think a lot of people consider that. Plus, we see out here people walking their little dogs in the summer, their faces are right down by the hot cement and closer to the hot asphalt. So if they're pulling, uh, trying to get away, refusing to go with you on a walk, also consider their perspective as a little dog.
Yeah,
Just
there might be a reason. I feel like a lot of people like just deem a lot of little dogs as just like stubborn and like spoiled, but because they don't want to do what that person wants them to do, or they will
yeah,
pull on walks or they won't want to go on walks. But yeah, it's like you have to look at the bigger picture and be like, okay, maybe they are like, do dogs really feel stubbornness? Like, I don't know. Like, we're putting our human feelings and emotions on them and not looking at the way they view things. Like,
agreed.
they're not just pulling because they're trying to piss you off or they're trying to just be sassy. There's probably a reason if you look hard enough.
Yeah,
It
and
goes
they can
back to, yeah.
feel. Sorry, go ahead.
Nope, nope. No, you're probably saying the
Oh,
same thing I'm thinking.
I was just that you can feel multiple emotions at the same time, just like just like humans can. I'm sure animals can feel multiple emotions at the same time. So it might look like stubbornness, but it's probably like I'm in pain or I'm scared or it could be like so many different things
Mm-hmm.
that they're not considering, and they also don't have most of them don't have autonomy over their lives. Like they're either thrown in a purse or thrown in a stroller, or you're going with me here, you're going with me there, or now it's time to it's so much to have to keep up with that they're probably sometimes going to be like, no,
Yeah, not
I don't
today.
want
I
to.
can't do it
Yeah.
today.
Seriously, carried everywhere, passed to everyone. We have one of the sweetest dogs who was little, fearful, who bit a groomer in the face because he didn't want to go in, but she lifted him up and handed him to the groomer, and she was freaked out that he bit the groomer in the face, and it wasn't a bad bite, but it was definitely a a warning.
Mhm.
But like think about that. He already didn't want to go into this place, didn't know this person, and you just like, there you go. So consider what his feelings might have been. There could have been a
Yeah.
better way to handle it. And next time she went, she did. She just handed the leash to the groomer. She turned around, and then her dog was able to have a little bit of freedom, walk in when he felt comfortable, not hands on. Like there's so much stimulation going on.
Yeah, just
So
that.
again, and no one's going to do that to your big dog. No one's going to hand your German Shepherd. There you go.
Yeah.
So it's
Mm-mm.
Yeah, just like small little differences like that can make all the difference in making the dog feel like they have autonomy, which they should. It's like
yeah,
not saying like, oh, don't bring your dog to the vet next time. It's like just make changes to make him feel safe or at the
Mhm.
groomer, make changes to make him feel safe because then
yeah.
it's fine.
And speaking of vet, when I worked at the animal hospital, we were told to have, if we were going to grab like a small dog in the waiting room, we were told to have the owner put them on the ground and take them that way
Oh,
instead of
nice.
grabbing them from their lap because it never, ever turned out well, and then it stresses everyone else out in the room and all the other dogs. And it's not a good idea. It never works out.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like the thing like with that is like you know your intentions. You know you're a good person. You know you love dogs. You know that you're taking this dog in a loving way. But the dog doesn't know. Like all they
Hmm.
know is my mom's has me under my armpits, which isn't the most comfortable position to start with, and is shoving me at this person that I don't know right in their face. This giant person who's like 6 times my size. What are they gonna do with me?
Yeah. In a strange environment with a
Yeah.
bunch of
loud.
other dogs.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
smells weird. Like there's just so much like
Yeah.
they like even if you have the best intentions, the dog doesn't know. Like your intentions don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah. And at the vet,
Or
those actions aren't very fun. So,
yeah.
yeah. That too. That too. So let's talk about ways you can advocate for your dog because when I take clients that have little dogs that have these behaviors, everyone's so embarrassed that their dog is barking and lynching. Like that's their first thing is it's the embarrassment and why is he so aggressive? And then you start to explain the perspective and why this is happening and it makes sense. But why is it so uncomfortable to just tell people he doesn't know you, please don't touch? Like you wouldn't let strangers come up and touch your children. And it's to me, it's the same thing. You're their guardian, you're responsible for their safety.
Yeah.
But again, people just have all this freedom. They think the liberty to go touch dogs and pet dogs and oh, all dogs like me. So we need to start standing up for our dogs. If the other people aren't going to have the proper perspective about, oh, I shouldn't go touch that dog or approach that dog, I don't know, then as the guardian, parent, whatever you like to call yourself, you really need to advocate. No thanks, he's not friendly. Maren's got a special gear that Obi wears.
Yeah, Obi has a
Share.
little Obi has a bright yellow leash that says nervous, give me space, and he wears that everywhere we go. And still it doesn't work a lot of the time, which then I gotta up my advocacy game. It's like because I feel like even with that, it's like you have to have it covered on all fronts because even with his leash, if someone's coming towards us and he's not growling at them, if he's not barking at them, they still will come up and just they won't even ask, oh, could I pet him? They just come up and they reach down right at his face to either let him sniff them or touch his head. And then that motion, of course, is what then sets him off into growling and barking. And then everyone's like, oh my God. And I'm like, man, read the leash. So it's like, if even though I have that leash, I still have to be aware if someone's coming up to us, I then have to get over the uncomfortable minute of saying, no, thank you. I just
Yeah.
like, he's not friendly. Sorry. And I
I
feel like
wish
a
there
lot. What did you say?
sorry, go ahead. I just it's just like you need like this monologue to tell people like, "Please don't test your like ego
Don't
and
test
see if
your
you can
luck.
make this dog." Yeah. This isn't your time to play hero. Just read the leash and move on. You don't have to
It's
test if
like,
you can be this dog's friend.
it's like they just think Oh, well, that doesn't apply to me because dogs like me, so it'll be fine. He's not growling at me, so that means I can touch him.
Yeah,
It's it's sure he's fine now because you are respecting his space. But when you come into
right.
his space and reach over him and just touch him, he doesn't know who you are. He's on a leash, like he's trapped. Like that's what's going to upset him, and that's why the leash is there. The leash is the first line of defense. Second line of defense is me saying, "Nope, not interested."
Third
Back
line is
up.
your shirt. It's got big
Yeah.
feelings. I have a shirt that says my dog does not want to say hi. So we all have to wear special clothing apparently too. It's like, hey,
I
doesn't want
know.
to say hi. It's crazy.
I know.
It shouldn't have to be like that, but
And of course there is a line like, Obi's not just Obi doesn't just hate people. Like sometimes he will want to go up to someone and say hello, but that's his call. And so it's
right.
normally the people who are walking by, not really looking at him, and then he'll kind of wander up to them and then they'll say, "Oh, is he friendly? Like, can I pet him?" And then I'll say, "Well, he can be a bit funny, but like if you go slow, he'll probably let you pet him." And then it's always fine because then they'll just like be like, "Oh, hello, kneel down, like get on his level." Like they don't just go for it.
Yeah.
It's just like
Choice.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
choice.
always choice. And yeah, if people ask me if they can pet him, I'll always say like, "Oh, he might let you. Like you can try." But like if you just go for it, that's when we're gonna have issues.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But you brought up an interesting point too, is when he is calm and walking nicely, then people think, well, oh, he's not nervous. Like they're not always going down the street like, ah. I mean, some of them
Yeah,
are.
Obi's not just like this wreck of a dog who's just like hates people and is just shaking all the time. Like he's
I
a
always like to
good boy.
tell
He just
people,
gets nervous with strangers. So do I, honestly. Like,
Same.
right, and he's feeling safe and calm, and that's why he's acting like he's acting. So let's just keep it there.
Oh, I did wanna make one point. I don't remember who said it, if it was Michael Shikashio or someone else, um, but they were talking about another way to deter people away from your dogs without having to be like, "No, leave them alone," is he would say, like, they're sick or something, and
hmm.
that would deter people away, or, like, they have, I don't know, he would say like, "Just lie that they're sick," and then people are like, "Oh."
Yeah, he's contagious.
Yeah, I think that's the word. I think that's the word. Whoever said that, I don't remember, but they were
Don't
like,
you think?
"They're contagious," and then it
I feel
worked.
like people get so mad at you. They're like, why do you have him out here? Because people
Yeah.
are just super
Well,
judgy anyway.
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
my boyfriend's mom was saying that because she, one of her really good friends has a little border terrier, I believe, that they go on like vacations with a lot. And he's a little terrier, so he's a lot like Obi. He's very like picky, like he doesn't really like other dogs, doesn't really like strangers. But a lot of times, if they see an off leash dog running at them or someone coming to pet them, she's like, I just started telling them he'll bite your dog. She's like, that stops them.
Yeah, that's true.
He's
I've
like, "No,
started
I
using that.
won't."
Yeah, it's
He's a
true.
biter.
That's scare him. I know. We're just gonna own it.
I don't
He's
know
gonna
what
bite.
he'll do.
That's even better. No idea.
I'm gonna start saying that. He's unpredictable.
He's a loose cannon.
That's actually a really good strategy. Just warn them.
Yeah, just
He's
do
might
what you
bite your
can
dog.
to keep them away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's not true. They'll never know.
Lie
You're
if you're
allowed to lie sometimes. Motto of this podcast: You're allowed to lie sometimes. Sometimes lying is
consider lying sometimes.
Consider
consider
lying. Consider
lying.
considering and then consider lying. It's all about taking care of your dog.
Thanks for hanging out with us on What Dogs Really Want. If you like this episode, hit that follow button, leave a review or comment, and share with someone whose dog might be trying to tell them something. If you have a myth you want busted or a behavior you're curious about, drop us a DM at What Dogs Want or voice memo, and we'll try to cover it in a future episode. Our future episode that we'll be covering is socialization and what that actually is. Until next time, stay kind and curious and do fun stuff with your dog.
Yay!
Bye. Thank you.